it. I think we are live now.
Yes.
All right.
You need to press play on the time lapse?
I do.
All right.
Here we go. All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday.
Hello.
Happy Father's Day. I hope you can see us here through the tree.
We're here, we promise.
This is the tree we're gonna be working on today. So right now, this is the previous. Let me go here so I can read your comments. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And we would love always to hear where you guys are from. So just write in the comments where you're watching us from, and we'd love to say hi to you. And we're gonna get started soon with this Brazilian raintree. So give us a little details about this species.
Okay, so Brazilian raintree, obviously native to Brazil originally. It's a very cool bonsai species. It's fast growing, it is forgiving. The leaves close at night and then they reopen in the morning, so they respond to light. They do flower, so they have little white flowers that come out like a little puff. And then another thing that's really cool that really only rain trees have is like they start to flute, like the trunk starts to kind of channel and starts to create these grooves in the trunk line itself. So that's very cool, very unusual, and that's about all I can say about rain trees. The only downside on rain trees that I can think of is the thorns, because they do have a lot of thorns. You can see them over here. They look violent, but we're gonna cut them in half.
Yeah, they're violent.
They're pretty violent, I mean. We're gonna try to remove as many as possible today.
Alright, and I'm just gonna say some hellos right now. We have Ryan from San Diego. Awesome. Hey. Jason Watkins from Georgia. Hey, our neighbor. Where in Georgia are you? Carlos, how old is that Brazilian rain tree?
That's a good question, Carlos. I would say it is about 10 to 15 years old, somewhere right in there. About a 5-year gap, I'm gonna guess.
But let's not keep turning it, at least not on my side, huh? Because the thorns are dangerous.
Yeah, but I'm trying to find the front of the tree. I'm trying to study the tree.
Alright, oh well, okay, so the first thing actually that I asked Jerome to do was to trim this tree back. So when we go ahead and defoliate and when we cut the thorns, we don't have that much to do, you know, because it's a lot of time, it's time consuming. So go ahead and start cutting, and I'm gonna keep reading the comments.
Alright, so I'm basically just going ahead and I'm doing like a perimeter cut. I'm gonna cut all the branches, maybe like 5 to 6 inches shorter than they are supposed to be. Because we know we're not going to start this tree all the way out to here, so we just brought it back in, which makes it easier to wire. We're not going to waste a lot of wire like this, and it's going to be a lot easier to shape the tree.
Alright, so we have, yeah, let's hope that. So we have this initial trimming. I'm going to go ahead and, the first thing I said, keep it there, keep it on that side, okay?
My apologies,
oh my
apologies.
Gosh. Alright, so you guys saw it. Jerome try to kill me.
On a live stream, yes.
So, see, that's how they say. Watch out for your significant others.
Look, you watch too many murder shows, man.
I see those crime documentaries. That's how it happened. Anyway,
horrible.
I have Percy from Cape Town, South Africa. Hi, Percy. Wow, that's amazing. And I have Anil from Trinidad and Tobago. That's amazing. And let's say I have from Michigan. I have Nick from Michigan. Hello. I have Andel also for Trinidad. All right,
cool.
I have Trinidad in the house. Sipster says, Jerome, you are so cute.
Oh, hello there. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm taking.
Then Mike says hello from the Gulf of Mexico. Hey, Mike. And then our friend from Georgia, he's in Winder. All right. I think it's like northeast. We're all the way west, so just we're far. Then I have Carlo from Miami. Yes. And I have another person from Trinidad and Tobago. That is amazing, Errol.
How cool is that?
I have Carlos from Guatemala and Carl from New Orleans and Christian from the Philippines. Carlos from Panama. This is amazing. Today we got very international.
You know what? I have a feeling that these people don't celebrate Father's Day on the same day. That's probably why.
Or if you're celebrating, you know, if you are a father, happy Father's Day. If you're celebrating with your father, happy Father's Day as well. So let's do some bonsai.
Yeah. Do you celebrate in Venezuela Father's Day on the same day?
I think so.
I think in Switzerland it's a different day.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well.
Alright, so I'm going to give you a pair of scissors and I'm going to start to defoliate. So I'm going to start to pretty much pluck off all of the leaves in here. And I'm going to try to go ahead and also remove as many of the thorns as possible. So we're just going to cut them in half. Because like I said, they are vicious. And so we're just going to cut them in half. Obviously, there's always a few that you're going to miss. But, you know, all in all, we're trying to get all of them. And so defoliating, basically what I do here, I just grab the leaflets and I just pull off on them. You generally want to try to leave some of the petioles behind. Like, I don't know if you, can you see this on the screen or not? Over here.
Go closer. The screen is right there.
Until it updates.
Yeah.
So basically it's a little stem that's holding all the leaflets in place. You want to try to leave that as much as you can. But when you grab the foliage and you kind of just pull off like that, you see how I just did? I just pulled back. You kind of leave all of these stems naturally behind. The only thing you want to look out for is that you don't get caught in any of the thorns.
Which already happened to me.
Really?
Yeah, that's so annoying. I mean.
That's the only downside of rain trees. But did you know that they do have rain trees without thorns?
They do? Where?
They do. I know that in Florida it's very up and coming now. Rain trees without thorns. I guess they just crossbreed them somehow. But that's pretty cool. But they do not grow as fast as regular rain trees, I was told. So.
I want those. Let me see what I got from here. Oh yeah, so it's northeast Atlanta, right? Carlos says, hi Mari, where are you from? I'm from Venezuela. Venezuela in the house.
Venezuelan in the house. And she habla español.
Español?
Español.
Oh my God. So yeah, I hope whoever is watching, you guys watching today, either you have a Brazilian rain tree or want to get one of these trees. And you're going to get the two sides of this because Jerome loves the species and I do not.
Yeah, I really do.
So
they develop so fast, it's not even funny. So it's a great species to turn into a bonsai. You don't have to wait for years to create something cool. You know, you can do it very quickly. So
yeah, in my case, yes, it grows fast. That's a problem for me because it's so high maintenance, and the thorns, like, this is just crazy. And you know something that happens, I don't know if you guys are the same, but Jerome, when he trims the tree or when he wires or anything he does at the tree, he just leaves this stuff on the floor.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have had the surprise of actually stepping in some of these thorns, and they hurt very much.
Well, why don't you watch where you walk? I mean, you know.
Oh, okay.
It's your fault. Of course it is.
So there we go. Plus, I mean, this process, the bigger it gets, the tree, like, it's pretty tedious. But, you know, for the love of it, for the love of bonsai. Let's see what I have here. So Aaron says, hi from Melbourne, Australia.
Oh, cool.
I love Brazilian rain tree. I'm yet to find one here.
Oh, they don't have them over there. Okay, that's interesting.
Maybe it's hard to find.
Maybe it's hard to find. Well, they used to be the same. They used to not be available in the United States either, until some guy, I forgot his name, was it Jim Moody, who brought it in by seed and started growing them, and that's why we have them now in the United States. I think it was Jim Moody from Jupiter, yeah.
Okay.
And that's why we now have Brazilian rain trees. We didn't have them before, so you could be that guy that brings them into Australia.
The breeder.
The breeder? Oh, Jesus.
Then we have saludos desde Tucumán, Argentina.
Yes, yeah.
Argentina in the house too. Carlos, what part of Florida are you guys in? So we're not in Florida. We are
Anymore.
in Georgia. Anymore, yes. We moved. And we are west of Georgia?
No, west of
Atlanta. Yeah, Georgia's big.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's see.
We are in the state where Justin Bieber gets his peaches from.
Wow. That was just...
That was just, it's true.
Yeah, my peaches out of Georgia.
See, there you go.
And then Andel says, on the wish list. Alright. The Brazil rain tree, Jason said, is one of my favorite, and I had to miss out the class today. Oh yeah.
Class was awesome today, by the way.
Yeah, everybody was so active and had so many questions. Yeah, it was a nice class. Well, the good news is that happens once a month on the third Sunday of the month. So pretty much when we have our live demos. So if you couldn't join us this Sunday, we'll hope to see you the next month or the following, and so on.
Now, something to keep in mind, guys, which we may have not mentioned, if you're not familiar with rain trees. So since we're cutting pretty much all the thorns in half, they don't regrow in the same areas anymore. So they just show up on a new growth, and on a new growth, the thorns are flexible. Like you see up here, these thorns are flexible on a new growth. So I can just remove the leaves like that. The new little green thorns don't actually sting you, so it's very easy to keep this tree thornless. Well, if you keep up on the maintenance and keep removing the new thorns, then you're good to go. It's just the first time when you start on a tree this size and you start to style it that they can be a little...
Jason says Jerome is about to get what happened here? His butt kicked.
By whom?
By me, obviously.
Why? What happened?
I don't know.
What did I say?
I read this a little later, so it might be when you were about to murder me.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. The bonsai killer. Jerome will be called the bonsai killer if you ever get something like that. Which you're not, right?
Oh.
Because I will be the victim.
Wow. Okay. That was worse than my Justin Bieber comment, though. That was horrible.
Does anybody else watch this crime documentaries, or is only me? Is there only me that's like, oh, I just want to watch crazy people out there? Yeah.
Man, we're making progress with this tree.
And then I can't sleep the whole night.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Alright. And then I have Errol says, I have 9 rain trees, 4 of them flute, very fast, and the other 5 are the ones that takes a lot longer to flute.
Yeah, so there is, as far as I know, well, They are in the mimosa family. From what I know is that there's like three main types that we use in bonsai. One that does flute, which is what this one is, so it creates like these really cool grooves and channels in the trunk. And then there's a rounded one, which will never create these channels. And then there is a thornless one. And the thornless one also does not create these really cool channels. And I wish I could show it to you better, but here in the top part of the tree, like on the trunk, it is already starting to flute.
So for those who don't know, what does it mean fluting?
Fluting is like when the trunk starts to kind of shift, it's creating these channels in the trunk that where you can actually slide your fingers along. I guess it kind of deforms the trunk. That's, I guess, the best way to describe it. It deforms the trunk a little bit and creates these craters and channels, which is very attractive.
Is it that one it peels or no? It's
No.
the same.
No, they do peel the bark too, but no, like, look, for instance, in here you can see it. Like, it creates these grooves in the trunk. It's very cool, and the older they get, the more they will create these grooves. So that's something that's very appealing, I think.
Alright. And then I have Jason. Oh, Alejandro says it was an amazing class.
Hey, Alejandro.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was.
And then Jason says, when you cut the thorns in half and it dies back, did you just cut more off until you have nothing left?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so we just cut them in half and then let them die back, and then the next time we come in, the next time we defoliate the tree, we cut those knobs back to nothing. Yeah, it's always good practice on all of your trees to always leave a little dieback space behind. What happened? Oh,
Thorn.
Yeah, to leave a little space behind. And you can tell that the branches died back when it kind of turns that beigeish, orangish color. That's when it has died back. That's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of cleaning up the tree a little bit because I have a lot of these.
Before you do anything, we're definitely gonna discuss the front. I just
Yes.
saw a funny comment. I don't know. It says, "Congrats for the baby." Not quite sure which baby are we talking about. Do I look pregnant? Is that what you're saying, Gabrielle?
I don't know.
No baby.
I don't know what to say over here.
And specify what baby are you talking about. You're talking about the tree or the dogs, which we have 4 and they're not new.
You're in hot water right now, my friend.
Let's see. Oh, it's a baby tree, I think.
Nice save.
Well, it said 3 like number 3, so now I'm confused. I'm from Brazil. Gabrielle's from Brazil, and it says we can collect. I don't know how to say this. Pita Colombian. I guess a specific type of.
Piscilobium? Oh yeah, pico.
Seeds all over.
Yeah, you guys in Brazil, the rain trees grow like weeds over there. Most people actually hate them in Brazil because they grow everywhere along beaches and in like city trees and stuff like that. And when they grow in the ground, the thorns get really, really big. So people actually hate them because they get stung by them or pricked, I guess.
Oh my
or
God!
step
Can you
on
imagine?
thorns,
Yes.
yeah. But for us bonsai people, this is a dream come true because we can just go and collect. Alright, we need to start to talk about the front here, people.
Alright. Let's do a 360 so you guys can see everything in the tree. And we love to see in the comments what would you go for if this was your tree? You know, like what do you see? Which style would you go for with this tree? And we'll see if we can please you, or we go a totally different route, which knowing Jerome, most likely that's what's gonna happen.
Wow.
Okay, so here we go. I guess, do you have a front already?
Me, yes. Do you want me to say already? What I had?
Well, right now I'm just asking them about a style. Like which style they see.
So
let's
the
see
front.
the front options that you see.
The front to me is this in here right now.
Let's put something.
The
there
wire.
for now.
So this is kind of the front to me right now. Which you know what? Let's put chopstick. Because what if I change my mind a little later?
Alright, so this is the front Jerome wants to go for. What do you guys think?
The reason why I chose this as a front is because I like the branch movement. There's a lot of movement in the branches up here, all the way up to the top in here. So that's why I chose that as a front. This side does not offer that same view of the branches, where this side definitely does. Yeah, I like this a lot. Okay.
Okay. What do you guys think? Do you guys this size too? Or let me see.
Let's see what you think. Come on.
Well, I go, since he likes this side, right, tilting to the right, I'm gonna go with the back, which is tilting to the left.
Yeah.
So,
Put your chopstick shots.
right or left? Wood stick or metal stick? Wood stick, metal stick. So let's see. Let's give them a little time to.
Why
read the
don't you
comments.
take a sip of wine?
Oh,
You know that
yeah.
I've poured for you before it gets too warm, and then we'll let people.
I see already. Right, left, left. So right now left is winning. Let me remind what is left and what is right. Oh, left. I think I'm winning so far. Okay,
No,
yeah.
this is left. This
Yeah,
is the
this
wooden
is
stick.
this is our left. No, because this is their front. It's my left.
No, but
It's gonna get too complicated. Okay, so wood or metal?
wood or metal?
Because right and left, I think
No,
it's
because
not gonna
look,
work.
we look at the tree, right? It's leaning to the left, right?
That's
You
yeah.
turn it
Well, then
around.
for them it's the right, I guess.
No,
yes.
for them now it's still to the left for them. For us,
I'm
it's
so
the right.
confused.
Oh my
Wooden
God.
stick,
Ay, ay, ay.
metal stick. All right, let's see. Wood. Oh yeah, okay. Everybody's Team Jerome. Whatever. Like
That's
he
what
knows
I'm
what he's
talking
doing.
about.
Like he knows what he's doing.
Okay, can we talk
Alright.
about the style?
I actually like that side better. I just wanted to
You're so
give you
full of it.
trouble. Oh, at least Jason said metal. See, Jason is.
He's just saying that to
My
make
friend.
you feel better.
All right, let's get started then.
Alright, so I'm just gonna start to wire the branches, and as I wire the branches out, I'm also gonna place them at the same time, most likely, at least roughly, and then do a final like perimeter cut at the very end.
Alright.
So
And also, if you are seeing a style right now with this tree, let us know in the comments. If you see something here that we should go for, Jerome should go for, let us know.
yeah.
And happy Father's Day.
So why are you drinking sacrifice?
For the fathers out there.
Oh, you're
Or the
toasting.
bonsai dads
I got you.
in the audience. Let me see what I see here. What's the I have hello from Boston.
Yeah.
How many people tuning in? I have Scott from North Carolina. Awesome. Then I see Carl says, will windswept look good on a Brazilian rain tree?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, actually, that's what we were thinking when we got this tree at the beginning.
That's absolutely what we were thinking when we got the tree. But now that I've watered it for a little bit, for a couple of weeks, my mind has changed a little bit.
Yeah, and Alejandro is saying slanting.
Is this Alejandro from the class today?
Yeah.
No wonder he thinks like me.
So slanting, now you guys know what Jerome is thinking about. But Carl, I'm totally on what you're saying. Like, I actually love windswept, and this one does have potential.
Windswept are cool, but they're kind of hard to keep the maintenance up, just like weeping style, because trees naturally grow towards the light, towards the sky. So it's a little difficult to keep up with the maintenance. But I do like these styles very much myself as well. So I agree with both of you guys.
Yes.
And so what I do here, even though I'm not 100% sure which style or which way I'm going to go, that's why I just start with the branch down here that I like. It is on the outside of the curve, and I like that. So I know I'm going to keep that and incorporate it into the design, no matter what design I'm going to turn this tree into. So I'm just going to go ahead and wire this branch, and then I'm going to apply the same to the rest of the tree. If I like it, it stays. If it doesn't, it's got to go.
Yes, so something we actually haven't mentioned yet is that the finished tree is gonna go on our auction website. So this tree, you can actually get it. We're gonna have it on our website, the bonsaisupply.com. Sale going on. So our prices on our website are already discounted, and you're gonna get an extra 10% from those prices. You also get free shipping for orders 35 plus, and that ends today. So if you guys are needing soil, it's repotting season, so take advantage of this sale going on our website right now, thebonsaisupply.com. And that's, I guess, one of the things we should also talk about for whoever gets this tree, like what is, the aftercare.
Yeah, so whoever gets this tree, as soon as you receive it, I'd recommend that you go ahead and repot this tree actually. Now, what kind of pot, I don't know yet, because we're still styling. But hopefully you guys are going to help me choose at the end to decide on a pot together. But you can definitely go ahead and repot it and take advantage that we already defoliated the tree for you. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so when you receive it, you can go ahead and repot it right away in that nice bonsai pot you have. And
yeah, this tree is ready to go into a bonsai container right away.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go over a few questions in the meantime.
Fire away.
Let's see. Why do Brazilian rain trees' leaves fold up in direct sun? Thought they liked it.
Why do they fold up in direct sunlight or indirect?
It says direct. Indirect.
What does it say now? Direct?
Indirect.
Oh,
Yes,
indirect.
direct.
Okay. They shouldn't fold up if they are in filtered light. Now, indirect light, I'm assuming you are referring to like indoors maybe. They are very light sensitive and they react to light. So if they are outdoors in a filtered light, they won't close the leaves. But if they're indoors and they are too far away from the window or another light source like a growing light, then they will definitely close the leaves because they think it is night.
Okay, and I have saludos desde Rio de Janeiro. He's another Brazilian friend. And then I have Mike asking, why would you pick a frond without exploring the root flare? So you can, I guess, go again over the process of how you pick a frond of a tree.
Yeah, that's a very good question. And generally, I would go about looking at the root spread first. But this rain tree, it is kind of on the younger side. And I know that once it's repotted in a shallower pot, it will start to push out roots everywhere, surface roots, and you'll get a more of an even spread. So at this point, I'm not too concerned about the root spread, especially since they grow so fast. So that will definitely change over time. But I do know if this was any other species, like a deciduous tree, for instance, then I would definitely look at the root spread first.
Yeah, so that's something definitely that you consider.
Mm-hmm.
But what else do you consider when picking up a front?
Yeah, so the first thing I look for is for trunk movement. And so this as a front, and it actually, I wish I could show it to you guys, but there is a really nice root coming towards you, right here at the front. There's a very nice root coming, and then you have roots going to the side. So this is actually really good as a front. I like the lean of from this angle here, and I like that first branch. And so I also follow the trunk movement. That's kind of the first thing that I do. When I follow the trunk movement from this front, it makes sense all the way from the bottom all the way to the top. And all the other sides did not give me that same nice trunk line when I looked at them. So something that I do sometimes with rain trees, if they do have a lot of thorns, I use my pliers to kind of help me sometimes bend the branches into place, which can be quite useful actually.
I mean, probably with this tree, you will want to wear gloves, like those gardening hard.
Yeah, you could definitely wear gloves with this. But I like to connect with the tree, I like to feel the tree.
And get caught.
Yes.
So I have, if you notch the Brazilian rain tree, will the notch fuse back?
Notch how?
Not quite sure. What
If you
means.
notch. Like you mean if there's a scar or... Because I know what a notch is, but I don't understand what the...
Try to formulate it a little different, Errol.
Sorry
See
about
if we can
that.
go over that one.
Whooshki.
And then we have a good comment from one of our subscribers. It says to the person talking about the Brazilian rain tree leaves folding on the Sunday. And he says maybe the leaf fold up because the sun has gotten too harsh.
That's what I was going to say. That's why I asked about the indirect or direct. You're absolutely right about that. But I think he said indirect, right? The question was indirect.
Indirect, yes.
Oh!
No, indirect, like direct sunlight. That's what I said.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have misunderstood. I thought you said indirect, like indirect light. But it's indirect. So it's in full sun. Oh, now I see. Yes, I'm so sorry. Okay, misunderstanding. So, yes, so the reason why the leaves can fold up is because it's too hot, too much direct sunlight. They actually like to have morning sun and afternoon shade or afternoon filtered light. That's what they like the best. So if you can give it to them, they will respond better to it. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
So, and John says, mine are in full sun all day and don't fold up. Is it getting enough water?
So yours is in sun and it does not have yellow leaves. Is that what I'm hearing?
Fold up. Nobody said yellow leaf.
They do fold up or they don't? No, I'm very...
They don't.
Oh, they don't?
And
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
So what happens is that rain trees, it also depends on your climate, right? And I want to give you a little example here. So I have two rain trees, my big one that you guys have all seen. I had another one just as big that looked just fairly similar to the one that I have. And that one likes to be in full sun, but my rain tree likes to be in afternoon shade. And they're the same species, but they do have different preferences as to full sun or not full sun. But also depends on your climate. That was in South Florida. So if you're not in a tropical climate, you might not experience that leaf closure thing.
Yeah, and as Stu were saying at the end, the trees are kind of like people. So you just have to like listen to them, and we obviously there are general ways that things happen, but at the end, your backyard is your environment, and your tree is gonna tell you if it likes it or not, no matter what. Like as we were saying, we can't always generalize a species, but as you said before, you told me that you have the same species and tree, and they have different requirements in the same spot.
They have different preferences, and that can happen because they come from two different places. They can be grown different. One may have been grown in the shade, was used to the shade. The other one was grown in full sun, so it was used to that. So it really depends on a lot of things And you're absolutely right with what you're saying. You can generalize, but
Yeah, I mean, they have personalities too.
yeah,
You know, like dogs, like us.
everybody.
Then I have, when I repot Brazilian rain trees, I can defoliate, prune, and wire the tree all at once.
Yes. So tropical trees, you can do that. You can do everything at the same time. If you have a tempered tree, you do not want to do everything at the same time. You want to do it in stages. But here, absolutely.
And coming back to the Brazilian rain tree situation with the leaves, somebody else is saying the leaves fall close when the trees lacks water.
That too.
Which could happen too.
So when the leaves close due to lack of water, that usually follows by yellow leaves. So that's kind of the next step, and they don't reopen anymore in the morning. And that's when you would want to go ahead and make sure that you water them more frequently.
Yeah, exactly. And that's great that you are noticing the things in the leaves, because
Absolutely.
that's the way the trees talk to you, pretty much. The leaves. I remember when you were doing the Brazilian rain tree class, the boot camp, the crash course. By the way, if you haven't taken that crash course, it's amazing, and it's on Brazilian rain trees. It's on our website too. It's called Online Bootcamp, and it's only $5, and you get to have all the tips and tricks from Jerome on Brazilian rain trees, and he goes over understanding the language of the leaves. That's how we call them, and yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one in bonsai. Learn how to read your tree, and everything else will be so much easier. And you can't really generalize. I mean, you can, but then it depends on so many things. It depends on the depth of your pot. It depends on climate. It depends on the soil. It depends on the health of the tree. So it's a little difficult to generalize, but.
Okay, then we have hi from Rome, Italy.
All right.
That's amazing. Is there any deciduous that can go full sun during summer and no greenhouse during winter?
Full sun, yes. There's a lot actually. Hackberry can go in full sun.
But you need to have the two things: so full sun during the summer and no greenhouse during the winter.
Well, I was gonna get to that. The greenhouse thing. If you have a mild winter, you don't need a greenhouse. Like, we don't have a greenhouse. We're in Georgia, so we just put our trees on the ground, cover them with straw, and that kind of takes care of that. Now, in terms of full sun, it also depends on your climate. I know in Italy, but there's a lot of different climates in Italy. So in general, oak trees like live oaks are good to go in full sun. Chinese elms are good to go in full sun. Hackberries definitely. Those are kind of the ones that are just coming on top of my head right now.
Alright, and then Tim is saying, what about an up and out movement for that first lower branch?
This one? Yeah, you could absolutely do that. You could absolutely do that. I just placed the branch just kind of like rough, just to kind of give me an idea. I haven't really decided yet, still not, on where I want to go with this tree. I just know that if I remove what I don't like and I keep what I do like, the tree is kind of going to style itself. But yeah, you can absolutely start with an upward movement, a downward movement. It's completely up to you.
Yeah, so Jerome's way to approach this is usually just to wiring the tree and then going with the movement on the branches
Yeah.
and the whole thing. But yeah, that's a great suggestion. Then Jason says, Martin needs the bottle to deal with Jerome tonight. Cheers to that.
All right, Jason.
Jason, you're cool. Like, definitely to do a meetup or something in Georgia. Cool people, cool people. Okay, so Errol said again the question. Let's see now. It says, if the trunk or the branch is too thick is too thick to bend, and you cut the trunk or the branch a few times, then put it into position, will the cuts fuse together to hold the bend in position?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I would not try this with a rain tree, no, because rain trees are so prone to dieback. If you did that on a rain tree, I think you're gonna kill it immediately. Have I tried it? No. Am I going to try it? No. You want to use that technique on species such as like Podocarpus, pines, ficuses, like trees that have a lot of sap movement, a lot of it. You do not want to try this in a rain tree, but I like what you're saying. So he's basically saying you take a saw and you make little nudges, and then you kind of pull the tree over and over and you kind of overlap them, and you change the angle of the trunk.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't suggest it with this species.
Yeah, I've seen those cool videos. I guess we have to try one of these days, but not with whatever season.
No.
Which species would you try this with?
You can definitely try this with pines. Podocarpus you can try this with. I need to think a little bit. I think conifers would probably be better at it. I would try it probably with like a trident maple. I could see that happening. The only problem is if you don't line up the nudges perfectly when you do make the bend and they start to overlap, then it's going to look really ugly once you take off the tape, because the plates are going to shift, so to speak, and yeah, it's not going to look very nice. So that's a difficult technique to master, but you have to try it and practice in order to master it, right? So
it's true. Then I have Beth. Did you cut yours?
No.
So Beth said, "Hi, Mary and Jerome. Do you defoliate your tropical trees every time you repot, for example, Campeche?"
Yes. So we actually defoliate everything when we repot, as long as it's not a conifer such as a juniper or pine, or like an azalea that's like an evergreen. You don't have to defoliate those, but everything else, tropical and deciduous, yeah, every time you repot, defoliate it, it just takes the stress away from the leaves, from the roots. I'm sorry, from the roots.
So yes. Then I have Mike says, "Did you start your large rain tree from pre-bonsai material, or did you get it with training? And if you started from raw material, how long did it take to get a showable state?"
I started it from a tree about this exact size that you guys are looking at. It took me about 5 years of just thickening the trunk. And what I did, I actually took it out of this container and I potted it into a huge tub that had drainage holes, and I left it in there for 5 years to thicken the trunk. Rain trees and most trees, in the first year after repotting, they don't thicken up that much, but then in the second or third year, they start to thicken up very quickly. And so that's kind of what I did. Repotted into a large pot, left it in there, and then just trained it and added to size. In terms of showable size or age, it took me probably about 10 years, what I would consider show ready. But I still haven't shown this tree anywhere. And that's just for a number of reasons. It's hard to transport it, doesn't fit into anything, no van, because it's so wide. And she won't help me carry it, so...
I already did, when we moved.
Yeah, that was the one time, but you said if I took it to a show, you wouldn't help me carry it. All over.
Exactly.
But there you go, that's what I'm saying.
So it's my fault?
Yes! And that, of course, was in Florida, where trees grow a lot faster, too. What I achieved there in 5 years would take you, like in New York, like 20 years.
Or longer.
Yeah.
So they're asking, this is, I don't know how to say this, Physilobium?
Physilobium?
Physilobium? Cynthia Sosa from Brazil is asking.
No, it is Bisallobium, but this is a Bisallobium disticium, or disticum, however you say that. I'm gonna say disticium. Disticium, maybe? I don't know how to say it, but since it's Latin and my language is close to Latin, I'm gonna go with disticium. Yeah.
Then I have another great person from Trinidad and Tobago.
All right.
This is awesome.
This is awesome, guys.
And the certain trees' appearance is improving.
Yeah, isn't it? Little by little. If you keep removing what you don't like, your tree can only end up looking good.
Yeah.
Quoted by Jerome.
Alejandro asks, so you have mentioned filter light is great for Brazilian rain trees.
Mhm.
So how do you recommend to do that?
So the filtered light is when you have a tree outdoors. Let's say you have just a tree with a bigger canopy, and this tree sits underneath that canopy, and you get like these little dots of light, these little beams that come through the canopy. That's what's called filtered light. And so rain trees love filtered light. They do like full morning sun and then filtered afternoon sunlight. If you can find that for your tree, that's the best case scenario. Every rain tree I've ever grown, they love that. It can be a little difficult to find because you would have to face east so that the light can hit the tree in the morning and then get shaded out in the afternoon. So it's kind of difficult. You could achieve that maybe with like a cloth. If you put a cloth over the tree in the afternoon, that could be achieved with that too. Like a shade cloth. Yeah.
Alright, and just warning, we're already past the 45 minutes.
Are we really?
But yeah,
Alright.
take your time.
That's
just
her
let
way
it
of
go.
telling me to hurry up.
Well,
No, I'm almost finished.
time flies when you're having fun.
That's
so,
right. Oh no, these great questions.
They are great questions. And before I
Last branch, people. Last branch.
keep
Yes.
asking, okay, so as a reminder, this tree is gonna go for an auction, and
Sorry, I need to get up.
second time that you try to murder me, Jerome. In
I don't know
camera.
what you're talking about.
So this is getting out of control. At least I have proof.
You are in the rain tree's way.
So, I was saying that this tree is gonna go in our website for our online auction. It's gonna last 48 hours. So if you like this tree, the finished tree, you can bid for it and get it. And also today is the last day that you can get an extra 10% off of our bonsai soil mix and aggregates in our website, thebonsaisupply.com. So the discount goes automatically at checkout. You don't need to put any code or anything like that, but it ends today. So if you are needing soil, it's repotting season. You should not miss this.
Yep.
And let me go now. Mike says, you said you didn't have a greenhouse where you live. So
Right.
what do you do with your tropical trees in the winter?
Good question. I take them inside, and we actually keep them in the living room. Because we have windows all around the living room, so that's where we keep them. And they seem to be just fine because we only have to keep them indoors for about 3 months, 3 to 4 months, and then we can slowly move them back outside. But we also have a section in our garage that we kind of designated for some tropical trees. And that has worked actually quite well.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. And then somebody else is asking, I'm looking for the site to buy some soil on your website. Where do I go? So I just typed the website. It's thebonsaisupply.com, and there you can get this soil. Then I have Luis, friend from Orlando, Florida. Hello, Luis. And Aloha, somebody else, and somebody from Brazil too. So still people tuning in. Thank you for watching, being with us. We're in the last details of this Brazilian rain tree. So we'll see what Jerome ends up with. No pressure.
No pressure, huh?
And as a reminder, whoever wins this tree, you can go ahead and repot it in a nice bonsai pot. In fact, we can discuss what options will we go with.
Yeah, so obviously we're gonna stay slanting in terms of style. I'm just starting to place the branches, but we're definitely gonna go into a slanting design today.
Yes, and I guess we'll go with that oval, most likely. Or at least what will you put this on?
You know, I don't know yet.
Still not decided?
Oval is always good, but you could also pot it into like a semi-cascade and have it lean a little more. I kind of like that too. But oval is always a good safe bet, yeah?
Yeah, like...
Oval, shallow.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Shallow for sure. You want a shallow pot with this tree. Right?
Mm-hmm, yeah, absolutely.
And Beth is actually saying, what size pot are you thinking? It's a good question. I think this pot is like 10 inches right
That's
now.
what I would say. So I would say maybe like a 12-inch pot. I think that's a pretty safe bet. What would you say?
Mm-hmm.
And what about glazed colors, guys? What do you think?
I'm thinking on glaze, but if you guys like glaze, what colors do you think? This should be.
With rain trees, so they have white flowers. So I think that like a white or beige pot would be quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking still, but I think that's right about.
I think on glaze would be better.
Okay. Let's take a vote.
What are you doing right now?
I'm doing a little guy wire over here. I'm bringing this branch down with a wire that I've attached to the branch and to the pot, because this branch up here is a little thick, and I don't want to risk to bend it and then have it break off, especially since we're live. So I'm going to use a guide wire to help me bring this branch down a little bit.
A lot of things are going down there.
Okay.
So that's a guide wire.
Guide wire, yeah.
Jerome put in. And you know the funny thing is that I always thought this was a spell guide, like G-U-I-D-E.
Yeah, me too.
But it's actually G-U-Y.
Like a guy.
Like a guy.
Like the guy.
So this is a guide wire.
Yeah, look it up on Google. It's actually quite funny. Well, especially since we're not, English is not our first language. That's just what we understood. But same for me.
But it also makes sense.
Because it's guiding, right?
You're guiding the tree.
Exactly.
Yes, but yeah.
I think whoever
Why would
named
it be
this
guide wire?
it makes no sense.
That's just something funny. But
Let's reach
guide
out to
wire.
Wikipedia.
Yeah. Then I have someone from Washington D.C. Awesome, welcome. And Carl asks, can you propagate lamps?
You can. Yes, you can. So, I have never been successful at rooting rain tree cuttings myself. I have tried it, and apparently you can just stick them in some soil and they will grow. That's what everybody tells me. But I have never been able to do it successfully myself. I don't know why that is.
And for the person asking, do I need a code for Father's Day discount? You do not. The discount will be applied automatically at checkout, so you don't need any code. And for those that are just arriving, we are having a sale, an extra 10% off on our website, thebonsai.com, for our bonsai soil and aggregates. And it ends today, so you can go ahead and grab if you need some soil for the repotting season, which is here. And let's see. What are your thoughts on Pierneff Brazilian rain tree?
I like them. Very cool. It's kind of like a flat top style, so to speak. It's like where you have no lower branches, but a larger like umbrella canopy. Like some people would consider my rain tree as a Pyrenees.
So it's a style.
It's
not
a type.
species.
No, it's a type of style. It's a type of bonsai. Well, it exists. Too. I think the Pyrenees style is what you see in like Africa a lot. Yeah. I mean, it kind of looks like an informal, upright broom style. Kind of. Yeah, something like that. I like it. You can absolutely do that.
Alright. Then Alejandro said white pot, and Andel said on glaze. So we got one of each team.
All right.
But yeah, white is a
It's
It's
a
a
safe choice.
good choice. It goes well with everything. It's crazy. Like it looks good. I like that. Then Alejandro says, lindo trabajo. Saludos desde Tucumán, Argentina.
Nice.
It's like a beautiful job. Hello,
Thank you.
Alejandro. And let's see, where are you guys? We are in Georgia. Georgia in the house. And Beth says, how long should the wires stay in place? Should the guide wires stay as long as the branch wires?
The guide wire is going to stay, or the guy wire is going to stay longer than the branch, than the wire on the actual branch. So once you repot this, I would reapply this guide wire, and I would, once you remove the wire, see if the branch stays in place. If it doesn't, you're going to have to reapply the guide wire. Guide wires usually, in general, they have to stay on a lot longer than the rest of the wires. So let's see.
And do you also get 10% off of the 20 quarts back? Yes, you do, and that is a deal. It definitely, if you are needing more soil than just a bag or two, a small bag or two, you want to go for the 20 quarts back. That's definitely the best deal, and you'll get the extra 10% off. And you also get free shipping with those bags,
so you can only win here.
It's definitely the best choice. Let's see.
Okay, we're getting there.
Best bonsai artist couple on YouTube.
Woohoo!
Thank you so much. You made our night. That's amazing.
I think I am finished here, people.
Right.
Yes. Alright. So this is kind of my end design that I came up with. Where to start? So this is kind of my apex over here. This is my leader, my crown of my tree as I envision it. I do like how it's leaning a little bit. It's a little bit of an informal, upright, slanting style, I would call this style. So it's slanting a little bit, but we still have this branch over here that gives us counterbalance. So it doesn't look like the tree is completely falling over. So we have this nice counterbalance here. This is going to be the apex, the crown of the tree here. And I would envision the tree to be something like this when it's finished. Like this big. And so now that I'm finished, I would say like a 12, 14 or even 16 inch shallow, really large pot. You can pot this tree onto off-centered to one side and have it kind of lean across the pot. I think that would look really cool. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I like it a lot. Because it has that big tropical canopy that I'm forming here. So I do like that a lot.
Yeah, it looks great. And actually, Beth has a really good question. It says, how do you anchor the guide wire in a ceramic pot? So I know.
Yeah, I don't have a ceramic pot. But you can, instead of attaching it to the pot, you can put it underneath the pot. So if the pot was sitting like this, you can just run the guide wire underneath the pot, in between the feet.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and take some pictures of this tree, and we're gonna post it on our website, thebonsaiSupply.com. In about 15 minutes or so, we're gonna start the auction, and you guys are able to bid for this tree in the next 48 hours, and we'll ship it to you. Just a friendly reminder, this is only for USA participants. I know we have an international crowd today, and we love you, But we cannot ship trees outside the U.S.
And it's not that we choose not to ship it, it's because we're not allowed to.
Yes, a lot of agricultural rules and stuff. But so our USA audience, you're definitely welcome to participate, and we're wishing you good luck to get this tree. I think.
Man, I like this tree a lot. I'm sorry. I keep touching up on it, but I like it a lot.
And if you don't pass, most likely Jerome is gonna beat the tree too and probably win it.
No, I do like it a lot because everything is on this tree. Everything is on this tree, man. You have movement from the bottom all the way to the top. There's not a single straight branch in here. There's movement everywhere. It looks contorted. It looks old. I really like it.
Yeah, no, it looks right. So thank you so much, everyone, that joined us today in this live. If you have more questions, drop it in the comments. We'll make sure to go over your questions in the comments as well. And as I said, in the next 10-15 minutes, this tree will be up on our website, thebonsai.com, for an auction for 48 hours. And also remember, we have a Father's Day sale going on. Today ends. It's the last day today, and you get an extra 10% off on our soil. And besides the extra percentage off, you also get the discount is automatic. You don't need any code. Just wanted to clarify that.
Yes.
So I guess we are
so
done.
thanks again for spending your Sunday evening with us. Much appreciated. We enjoyed it very much.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Call your dad if you haven't yet. And we'll catch you
I
guys
hope
next
you
time.
have done it yet. Bye.